So, hi, for some reason, my camera is not visible. So, straight away, let us go to the PPT. This is about how to handle the friction between bosses. You know, how do you do that if you are in a workplace where your boss and maybe another boss or the boss's boss is in friction. Sometimes what happens is, you are asked to deal with ambiguity. Ambiguity is between conflicting directives that are hurled at you. So what we can do is, we can take into account this Gallup Q12 employee engagement questions so as to decide which course of action we should take. It is always very intelligent of anybody to handle the friction between the bosses and allow them to get over it by you being in between both of them and resolve the question for both of them. Workplace is a very good place where social change happens, the mindset change happens, but somebody has to induce that mindset change, right? So for that to happen, when uh, most of the employees, if they are like working for a job, they will not think of this, but the proactive person, the trendsetters and the go-getters, they think in a very different way, and what they will do is, they will take into account what is the measures they would take so as to safeguard themselves from the suppose something goes bad. It might go bad, right? When there are two bosses in friction, maybe whatever you are doing with both the bosses, in between you are playing a level field between the bosses. What happens is sometimes things might go bad. So let us deal with these 12 questions um, that will remind you of your values at workplace and what is expected of you. Now, the first question is, do you know what is expected of you at work? So this is not about only the job responsibility, what are the deliverables, but also to uh, restore the workplace environment. If you are at a mid career level, you are senior enough to know who is what, who is, like, say, all the employees, all your colleagues will not be the same, and all of them behave in a very different way. Maybe all of them will have their own approaches, right? So what is expected of you is the first thing you should ask, right? What this will give you, this will give you insight of, at the end of that ambiguity, that friction that is happening, whether you are delivering your work. Are you like, say, are you being restricted because of that? If that is so, you have to talk to both the bosses and bring those, both of them, to one table and resolve that. And both of them, you have to ask in a polite manner, and in a manner that will not be insulting to either of them. And you have to tell them that this is you are supposed to deliver here, but because of the miscommunication between both of them or some ego issue, anything might happen, and both of them have different ideas also. And so you have to do this. Second is, do you have the materials and equipment to do your work right? So, uh, this is a secondary question. Like, say, what material and equipment do you need to have? But at times, suppose you have to have some professional equipment, which suppose some video equipment. It is not that everybody will have a video equipment in your surrounding. Suppose you are into digital marketing and all, and if you have to deal with videos, then everybody will not have the video equipment. It will be one or two or three set of equipments, and there will be a schedule to use them. And if you are not able to use that you then you have to bring that to the notice of these two people. If they are fighting over these equipments, then this is the second thing you need to do. This you need to bring out from your angle, because you are not able to deliver, right? The third is, at work, do you have the opportunity to do what you do best every day? So, if you are hired for something, if you have to do something, and if you are hired for that thing, because of the friction, sometimes it so happens that you will not be able to do. So, I'll give you one instance here. Recently, what has happened is some kind of miscommunication happened between both my bosses. And yesterday also I was speaking to somebody who also is telling the same thing. He was hired and he was trained very well. He did everything in his power to catch the processes and everything. At the end of it, what happens? Some problem happened between his immediate boss and his the boss's boss, because of which he has to face the music, and his boss was saying that it was not proper for him to cross check some information. Cross checking an information is not some crime. Everybody has the right to cross check information if he is in a trouble. So it was none of his problem, but he was kind of accused of this. So if you are not having that opportunity, then you have to bring into your notice about this third question in your Gallup question 15 of an employee engagement. This is the 12 golden rules. And the third rule is, are you having the opportunity to do what you do best every day? So this was the third question he would have asked. So if he was in some kind of confusion, then asking for clarification is not a crime, right? And in the last 7 days, this is the question number 4. Have you received recognition or praise for doing good work? So again, this brings to the problem that many of my clients face, and they have been complaining about this thing, that they do not receive any appreciation for no matter what they do. So this is the fourth question, and it should ring a bell into the super boss, the leader of the organization, if he receives feedback from employees that in the last 7 days he or she has done something of recognition, but they were not acknowledged about that. Question number 5 is, does your supervisor or someone at work seem to care about you as a person? See, you have joined the workforce to deliver something, but you are a human being at first, right? You may have all those problems that any average person goes through. You might face some kind of problem. So are you appreciative for that? Sometimes you may falter, you may wobble. That is what I was listening to one podcast today, wherein the employees should be allowed, when they are learning something new, they will falter at times. So uh, are you being cared as a person, that you might take time to learn something new, or you might face some problem at home or at workplace which might affect your work performance? So whether you are being recognized as a person, is there someone at work who encourages your development? This refers to a mentor. So if a mentor is there who encourages you for your development, then nothing like it. Actually, this will be an emotional bonding for you. And despite all other things, maybe your salary is less, maybe your rank is not proper, but if somebody encourages you to grow, then you will grow beyond your rank. It will be beyond your designation. It will be continuous growth, and employees will stick for that. And are you being given that? Then the seventh question is, at work, do your opinions seem to count? Whatever. Like say, when you are in a junior rank, at times what happens, most of the organization, they don't have a system to hear out whatever opinion you have. You might be less in experience, but you might have apprehension, right? Because you know your capabilities well enough. And suppose there is a goal that is being set which is beyond your capability, which you think is not at the moment right for that kind of goal, then there will be apprehension, and that opinion has to be addressed by your leader, uh, complementing it with some senior person who is a kind of uh, synergized with you, who has synergized with your energy, right? So that provisioning is there or not? Then the eighth question is, does the mission purpose of your company make you feel your job is important? So uh, does the mission purpose of your company, so whether you are feeling at home at your company with whatever mission that you have, there is always a purpose, a mission in each of us. So you have applied to this company, and that is why you have been hired to this company. That is fine, but are you being allowed to do that? Because if you don't have that kind of say, or you are not allowed to make those decisions, then sometimes maybe it will be very routine, very mechanical, and you will lose your interest in this, and that will not only kind of uh, say make you suffer, even the company suffers. So whether in the friction of those movement between bosses, they are giving out some directives which is of contradictory nature, which wherein you are feeling deprived of your mission. Ninth is, are your associates, fellow employees, committed to doing quality work? This question you can ask your bosses who are fighting right now. You can go to them. Your bosses are your associates, right? Without their help, their fellow employees, their colleagues, their senior colleagues, of course, but their colleagues anyway. So if they are fighting amongst themselves, uh, does the quality of the work is being retained or it is suffering? That is what you can take, and this can be your googly to your conflicting bosses. The 10th question is, do you have a best friend at work? So who is your best friend? Like say, you can take the help of your best friend, who might be your mentor at workplace, not necessarily your boss, maybe a mentor. So can you go to him for some advice, or you can bring, like say, you along with your mentor or best friend can be uh, two people who can resolve this crisis at workplace when this friction between bosses happen. In the last 6 months, has someone at work talked to you about your progress? So, who is this? Maybe this is the question why your bosses have come to friction. Uh, right now, at this moment, when I'm speaking this, when I'm telling you this, two of my senior colleagues are in friction. And uh, while I work for both of them, while I work both of them, and both of them are handling different kind of portfolio, and I support both of them. I contribute, and I'm an active team member in their teams, their respective teams. But they do not necessarily understand what is my progress, right? And that has created some kind of friction between them without, like say, nobody is talking about it, right? If three of us are sitting, like say, on the same table and talking it out, it would be resolved. There are all that I am upset about is not maybe partly because I am not allowed to work the way I want to work, or I am not being given that freedom of say or decision making, which is why, and I'm not being supported also. All these make some kind of reasons why two people are looking at the portfolios differently, and because my time is getting divided between them unproportionately, disproportionately, and it also is affecting my mental makeup. That is why people are upset, because no, in between frictions, I have nothing to do with that. If I am given some kind of responsibility, I have to deliver, and within that, if you put some kind of hiccup as a boss, as a senior colleague, then I'm not going to deliver in time. So my timeliness gets hampered, and also my deliverance, my productivity also gets hampered. So this is what I have been trying to convey to my bosses. It will take some time for them to understand. In the last year, have you had opportunities to learn and grow? uh, Even if I am not given this is the responsibility of the workplace, of course, but when that is not forthcoming, what you can do is you also can go on your own and try to learn something. Every day it is your own responsibility towards yourself that helps you grow, right? And if you are growing, then you can tell your conflicting bosses that this is the growth I have been doing, and you will be the best people to guide me and add to my experience. Why? Because it will help you also in your work and achieving your target, right? So it is a teamwork at workplace, and it is not me alone, not any of you alone who is going to achieve it. It is a teamwork that is which is going to achieve. So these are the 12 principles of Gallup Q12 employee engagement, with which we can handle this crisis when uh, two bosses are fighting. So if this is something you liked, then you can like this video and comment in below the video about what is your takeaway and how further this will help you at your workplaces, and what more you want to uh, have me deliberated upon, right? So thank you so much.